All right, everybody, welcome back to the North American Challenger League, Week 2, day number 2, match number 2. My name is Optimus Tom, and joining me for this upcoming cross-group matchup is Mr. EGAD, or Feed himself. It's going to be Curse Academy taking on the regular Curse roster.
This is kind of after a lot of changes to Curse, like they've swapped the rosters a little bit, they changed everything up. We do have Void go into mid. They picked up Quas from GGLA, so that's a very interesting story. Quas has been kind of all over the Challenger scene, World Eclipse, GGLA, and now finally here on Curse. So we'll see if that's his home for now. And this is kind of going to see which side of Curse is better. Curse Academy is kind of stuck together through and through. They lost out Yuno and swapped Satslo, I forgot how to say his name, in that support role. And other than that, the line has been fairly similar pretty much throughout all their career in the Challenger scene.
Yeah, well, Curse Academy, they're definitely a little bit more on the consistency train. When they do wind up changing somebody out, it's normally because they wind up leaving to go to the normal Curse roster or switching around to one of the other many rosters that Curse has recently acquired. But speaking of Quas, he was an acquisition coming over from GGLA. We've seen him do a lot of things in the Challenger circuit, but the last game they played against Coast, it was unfortunately not a lot of things good coming out from the side of their lineup. They didn't necessarily look like they had clicked quite yet. Let's see if after maybe a couple more scrims, they're going to get everything together as the picks and bans have flown through. And, well, wow. Curse Academy, knowing their big brother roster, have immediately taken away that Aatrox from their side.
Yeah, taking away the Aatrox from Quas. They don't want him to play that one. They banned out Renekton, Zed, and Elise. So they don't want to see Elise up top. They don't want to see Zed up top or mid. No one wants to see that. As after last game, Chris, even though he's so far behind, did a ton of damage, but they still lost that game. And they don't want to see Quas as Renekton. Renekton is kind of the king of top lane at this point. He has no really bad matchups. So taking that one away will allow for that Aatrox to be a little bit better, unless they want to put him in the jungle for one bad bread. I haven't seen him play it just yet. The side of Curse, banned away Gragas, Vi, and Jax. So don't want to see Jax misses. Gragas is very strong. They don't want to see one Brad's Vi or Rux's Jax top, as Jax can scale very, very hard into the late game.
Yeah, definitely. So far, it's kind of been about those late game scaling top laners, or at least more recently. It came with the Trinity Force buff, as we've seen Jax be very, very powerful. But not only Trinity Force, when it synergizes on somebody, you could utilize Blade of the Rune King extremely well. We've seen what it can do. We saw it at the World Finals when SK Telecom T1 was doing it. And we've seen it pretty much in a lot of different games out there throughout, well, the Challenger circuit and even across the world, how powerful of a pickup he's been. So definitely going to knock that one out of the way. But some picks going down very, very quickly. A lot of power picks coming out from Curse Academy. Aatrox and now Corki being picked up, whereas they picked up Nami, who isn't normally a support you would think goes with Corki. She can put down that Tidecaller's Blessing to help him get some auto attacks off to slow during a chase, but normally you would think of maybe putting someone else to synergize with him with the poke potential he has. We'll have to see how they wind up going with this.
That lane can go very in favor of Corki. That Tyco's wasn't accepted before. If you max that in lane against an AD carry who doesn't have as much range as Caitlyn, which it looks like Curse is hovering to pick over, you can just completely shred them down, especially with an armor shred coming in from the Gatling and Phosphorus Bomb Harass. But what it looks like the side of Curse is doing to counteract that lane is going with a very heavy poke lane. They have the Strangle Roots, they have the Plant Harass, they have Piltover Peacemakers and Caitlyn range to just poke you down and be so annoying in that lane. So we'll see if a lane swap's initiated from either side, as it might come to fruition here. They do have Shen being picked up for the side of Curse, so a very good global presence for that late game, and Quas playing Shen is always very interesting to see. And we're going to see Dominate's jungle Jarvan, so a lot of early aggression could be coming out from him.
Yeah, and Jarvan's kind of one of the, I wanted to say go-to, because recently we've seen Dominate going with jungle Aatrox. He's been playing some different kind of jungles. He picked up Lee Sin along the way. But Jarvan was one of the ones that he's always kind of been a potential threat with when he was back on, well, lo and behold, the Curse Academy roster, now being on the main Curse roster. So I really want to see how he utilizes it. He also worked very closely when St. Vicious was on the main Curse roster, in helping him go with his own jungle choices. So I'm really interested to see kind of how like the teacher, well, I guess it's kind of teacher now that St. Vicious is coach of that main Curse roster, how they kind of transition the knowledge back and forth into each other's play style. We do, however, see on the side at Curse Academy some older picks being picked up. Nidalee has gained some popularity both in the mid lane and, well, if it's in the hands of someone like Bishu, or top lane if it's in the hands of someone like Enox. And Jace actually being picked up, who we haven't really seen for a decent amount of time, not since Cloud9 has been using it.
And in WCG last night, actually, there was a Jace up top, which was very interesting. Maybe try to mimic that style, but Rux's Jace is something that's really good as well when he takes the top lane. Could also go 2v1. I don't know Jace for being the best 2v1er, but either way, could still go there. And Jack Smith does play Nidalee mid quite a lot, so that's a big thing for him. And the side of Curse is hovering over that Kassadin, which is normally banned out, but we could see Voyboy playing that one mid as he's transitioning from the top lane to mid lane, which is very interesting for me.
Well, first off, Kassadin has been the one champion that Voyboy was switched to the mid lane role back when Curse had their original LCS roster. They would pick Kassadin, not give it to Najaki, and then have Voyboy do a lane swap where he was the one running it in the mid lane matchup. They're going to wind up picking this one, potentially thinking that Nidalee's going into the mid lane, but if they do wind up running into a Jace mid lane matchup, Kassadin might get shut down a little bit in the beginning stages of the game. They just have to make sure not to give him that one kill that Kassadin normally needs to snowball things out of control. He scales extremely well into the late game because of itemization. You think like Rod of Ages and Tear the Goddess, they take time to build up, as does Kassadin. Once he hits that threshold with levels and items, he could just run rampant if he gets the gold to get there quicker.
And also, the tank line is going to have to be that jungle Aatrox. Probably going to go for Blade of the Rune King and then Randuin's and Spirit Visage on that line of the spectrum for the builds. And maybe Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I don't know how he's going to build it, but they're going to need some kind of tank line. Their comp is very good at poking. They have missiles, they have spears, they have shock blasts. They could try to use bubbles and tidal waves to initiate when they can. And their team, if they get it rolling mid-game and use those shock blasts and spears with a little bit of AP on that Nidalee, it could be absolutely devastating for the side of Curse.
Yeah, Curse Academy definitely has kind of a tower kind of sieging composition going on with the Jason, the Nidalee, and the Corki, whereas regular Curse here, Curse Gaming, two curses really confusing me here, but they kind of have a composition that wants to like go in, force fights, and have cleanup, whether it be on Caitlyn or Kassadin getting those kills. So it's going to be two very interesting styles butting head to head. But guys, while we're waiting for this spectator delay to load, don't forget to head over and show some love to our sponsors below, just like Loot Crate. They're a monthly gear and swag club for those that live the gamer lifestyle like you and me, everybody. They're the best new gear, snacks, toys, hardware, art, and even more every month. Check out Loot Crate, and don't forget, by using the link below the stream, signing up, you're going to be directly supporting us at the NACL, and for that, we will love you forever.
Yeah, hearts. But till then, we're in the spectator delay, so enjoy the music, sit tight, and we will be right back when the game is loaded up. All right. Welcome back to game 2 of tonight of week 2. I am Egad, and I will be casting with Optimus Tom as we are joining all of you on the Savannah. Ah, that was fun.
If only there was a Rengar in this game, it would have been a perfect segue.
That would have been great, actually. The Nidalee kind of can fix that, but she's not level 6.
That's very true. Maybe if she were in Cougar Farm. However, we are on Summoner's Rift here. It's what the heck 2 curses. Curse Academy on the blue side, and we have the regular Curse Gaming roster over on the red side. Some very pokey champions for Academy and some very hard initiation champions and cleanup duty from the main Curse rosters. We'll see what winds up unfolding at level 1 as red side looks to be a little aggressive here.
And a nice trap from Jackson will spot out Dominate and a Voidboy right there. As Tatsula going to lead the charge there. Maybe look to get a bubble out. He does seem to be moving pretty fast here. Going to swim his way through that river and walk up into the brush and get an auto attack, get 3 goals, and make it worth as they rotate towards blue and look to drop a bubble. It does not connect. As Zeke does strafe away from that. Wards come out, Root come out. Not going to connect. 5 grouped up members of Curse Academy going to drop that ward and maybe look to steal or possibly just back on out and keep their Aatrox in a nice safe position for red.
Well, a lot of crowd control and not a lot of stuff happening right there as they just wind up trying to get vision upon each other's jungle to see where the enemy's junglers are going to be. Of course, Jarvan is going to be a very slippery jungler. He can go over places where he should normally not be able to get to. Same thing with Aatrox hopping over walls with that dark light. Both of them have some very interesting potential gank paths, so the more vision they have, the better from both sides of the map here as they continuously put down these wards. And that's very interesting because we have on the side of Curse Gaming, Zegan has picked up a pink ward as well as a bunch of greens. So Curse Gaming side may not have as many ward potential as the multiple green wards that Tatsula has picked up early on.
Yeah, usually in these high-level challenger games, we'll see supports go for straight up 5 green wards, and him foregoing that to go for I think it's 2 pink wards actually from his inventory.
Oh, look at that, it is.
Yeah, so he went 2 pinks, 2 greens, the 1 free ward from the utility tree. So gonna not have as much coverage, but will be able to take complete control of that lane if he does want to use those pinks and brushes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that pink ward access does give you, is being able to deward brushes or just keep the enemy completely in the dark through the tri-brush or the river area. And that gives your jungler a little extra threat of presence, whereas all the wards coming down from Tatsula in the early stages of the game are just meant to kind of keep track on where Dominate's going to be, to try to scout him out ahead of time. So they might be dark in the lane, and that also gives a little bit of pressure with the Zyra being able to lock people down. But they're going to be able to know where Dominate is because of how many wards they're able to get along the map through that little level 1 kind of Tour Day Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and for now, level 2 is achieved. We see the Tycall's blessing coming out. The bubble not going to come out, just a little bit short there. Root connects on a Fabi, though. He will turn around with the Gatling gun and blow up Zken right there, forcing him to use his potion as well as strafe away from the Piltover Peacemaker. So that trade kind of turned around in the favor of Curse Gaming. I don't know what I call him. I'm just going to call him Curse, and then Curse Academy for Curse Academy.
We have Curse and Mini Curse, but the level 2 in the bottom lane, I mean, just from playing even solo queue, Dan, we know how powerful hitting level 2 is in a duo situation.
Yes.
But being able to have the long range of Caitlyn Zyra lane, that Corki had to go in a little bit too far there and took a lot of punishment in order to do so. The missed bubble also coming out from Tatsula meant that they weren't able to lock anyone up and get free trade damage. So that's this kind of understanding of a matchup. When Caitlyn gets that far away from Corki, she's able to freely trade where Corki has to step up to get an auto attack range.
All right, so dropping the knowledge bombs right there on the trading situations, as well as the nice early level 2, and the ooh coming out as I don't know what just happened there. I think it might have been the mid lane gank attempts from Jarvan, but either way, he's looping back around. Possibly going to look to gank mid, but there are some nice traps placed in that middle brush, while Rux and Quas up top are kind of going to be the island for a little while.
Yeah, well, looks like we do have Jarvan just making his way through the mid lane. Nothing really, just kind of a drive-by, hey, what's up coming out from him. But other than that, nothing too much coming out from the junglers early on. Aatrox, he can benefit from getting a farm a little bit better than Jarvan's going to be able to do. Jarvan, in the early game, really wants to try to get a gank. If you don't get an assist or a kill on something, free level 6, you're not necessarily going to have the best time in the world. And Aatrox, you see here, his duelist power is just punishing Dominate in his own jungle.
Yeah, that's a level 4 Jarvan too, running away from that Aatrox. The Bubble passive was available. Bubble connects in bot lane, but Fabi was rooted in dealing with a plant there. As you see already, the power of that Zyra support coming in. Just roots, plants, and the Q harass coming in. That range is very far on that. And as an AD carry, it is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and as a technical term, because I'm pretty sure the majority of Twitch or Zubu chat out there has played Pokemon X and Y, grass beats water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a technical standpoint.
Yeah, but this is League of Legends. Can't apply Pokemon rulings here. That'd be cool if you could, though. Either way, we do have Satsula forced to use that heal there on himself and sustain as much as possible, which is one thing that the Poke lane does not have. While in mid, we do have an Aatrox waiting in the wings to try to do something against Voyboy, as Riftwalk is not available to him, and he's still level 5.
Yeah, and so, well, we're gonna see here. Ooh, that was actually a lot of damage there. Oh, very, very close, but not quite.
Yeah, either way, they are still out-poking them quite hard. We're going to see some counter-jungling coming in from Dominate. Bubble going to miss there in the bot lane. Cop will juke away from that one. And might see Aatrox roam towards bot, but there is still the factor that Fabi and Tatsula are very low.
Yeah, and Aatrox, he hasn't gone backwards. When he forced Dominate over the wall, Dominate decided to go back, pick himself up a Spirit Stone, and picked up some extra wards to continue to gain that vision control of the jungle areas to make sure that Aatrox wasn't going to be able to gank some of these very far extended lanes, such as Cop and Zcat here in the bottom lane.
Yep, and still in this bottom lane, Cop and Zcat are winning out on this lane very hard, but we do have him coming in right now. Aatrox is going to come from the wings, but a beautiful two-man route coming through. Here is the slow, and is he going to apply the Dark Flight? The ward just died. He's going to force the flash out of Cop. Zcat did not even have to flash away from that. Bubble comes out, not going to connect, and a nice gank from One Bad does force out at least flash from Cop.
Yeah, forcing the flash isn't the worst thing in the world to come out from that gank. They had very, very far positioning on the side of Curse Gaming, so he had to get out of there. But the range that Caitlyn has over that Corki Nami lane, especially the disengage there, a really good lockup from Zcant on his grasping roots there, was able to minimize the amount of damage that Curse Gaming had to suffer to get out of there. And they continue to push the CS advantage, 52 compared to 35 for Fabi.
Wow, so 17 CS deficit at this point. While in the mid lane, we do have Voyboy. If you notice, he has a Biscuit right now, so expect a little bit into that utility tree, maybe 9-0-21. I'm not too sure. I would have to look at it for it, but he's got the Biscuit. He had the free ward, which is very, very interesting for a build. Dominate coming in, though, as Jaxus does zone away Voyboy with the spear there. It's Cougar form and just going to look to do what every Cougar does and pounce on the wave and just push it down.
It's actually kind of interesting because it's very similar to a Kassadin page that Xpeke runs, but he goes heavy into utility and he doesn't spec for the Biscuit rather than going for just straight all the way through to try to get as much cooldown reduction and experience as possible. The faster you hit level 6, the faster you can maybe potentially roam around.
And Rux just had to use his cleanse up top to avoid eating any more than one shot of turret damage after a nice taunt from Quas. And I just realized that Rux was running cleanse, and when he does play his Jace up top, he tends to favor going cleanse in that matchup. And it's always played out not too well for him because he does tend to not be able to secure kills all the best. But either way, that cleanse will play a big factor. The silence can get cleansed, the taunt can get cleansed, as well as the roots from Zyra. So in this choice, it feels a little bit better.
Well, let's think about it this way. Curse Academy has a very poke-heavy composition. So in this case, Rux is probably going to be in his ranged form basically a lot of the time when they're sieging down towers. So he could think of himself kind of as an AD carry. He doesn't have an escape like Corki's Valkyrie, so having the cleanse to avoid all the lockup that Curse Gaming is going to be trying to put down upon him isn't the worst summoner spell in the world. Burning it there underneath tower to get some free harass on Quas, though, does mean that he's a little bit susceptible to some ganks, but he did go back early, picked up a tier, and he has a ward in that Tri-Brush to try to spot out Dominate.
Yeah, and we still see this island evolving up top here. We do have Jarvan going to look to pick up his red now that it has spawned. And Rux just looking to do some damage to Quas, but with that Doran Shield and the Giant spells, also potions and Feint to keep him fairly healthy in that lane, as well as absorb some damage. We are not going to expect too much yet, while One Bad Brad does pass off the blue to Jaximus, who is not building a tier and going for Chalice instead. So going to look for some extra MR against that Kassadin lane.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this one winds up evolving, because Nidalee, she can put a lot of pressure down, and in that Cougar form can shove minions into the tower against Kassadin, so that's going to prevent him from roaming as freely.
And speaking of roaming right now, Dominate did not get the flag and drag, and Rux will be able to just acceleration gate his way right on out of there. So a nice gank attempt from Dominate, but it just does not succeed. He even has Cataclysm available to him if he wants to loop around again, but there is that ward in the Tri-Brush.
Yeah, had he gotten the flag and drag right there, like we said, Rux doesn't have his cleanse, wouldn't be able to get itself naturally out of a taunt or something like that, a follow-up from Quas, so you would have had to burn the flash, and then we would have had the Cataclysm coming down, but Dominate not able to land that combination there, just, winds up having Rux just get away from that one.
Yep, and for now, blue buffed up Jaxmus going to be able to sustain with that heal and just keep applying Nidalee Spears, but they're not really connecting all too well. We have Voyboy really whiff walk over the wall, drop a ward. It does get spotted out by a pink, and we do have Dominate sitting here being very sneaky. The silence comes out, the slow as well. Nidalee still silenced, and that gets Cataclysm and bursted out. Dominate picks up the first blood for Curse Gaming, while Kyle picks up the first turret for Curse Gaming.
And not only is that a very powerful pickup, but the blue buff winds up going back down on the Dominate. They steal that one away from Jaximus, and he's not going to be too happy about that one. Nidalee has pounds to make herself naturally very sticky or very hard to get into a flag and drag combo, so Dominate misses the easy one and gets the hard one.
Yeah, and Brad is now going to soak up the XP as well as get whatever CS he can here. And Dragon is going to go over to Curse as well, as Dominate with a nice rotation with Zken and Cop. Pick that one up, and are going to see that Dragon at 16 minutes and 17 seconds. And just going to continue with their nice laning and have a nice little advantage after all that.
Yep, they have the stand united from Shen too, so even if Curse Academy, instead of just trying to defend the mid lane tower from all those minions and not letting that experience go to waste, try to force a fight, it's going to be a 4v5 situation, very, very bad from their side. So they give up the dragon for free. They do know that it wound up going down around that time because of all the vision they have on the map to try to stop this potential roam from Kassadin before it actually winds up happening. But now they know that, okay, we lost the tower, we lost the dragon, we gave up first blood. We're definitely a bit behind, and now they're just going to see what they can maybe have something happen. One Bad Brad goes back, actually only has 2 Doran's Blades in inventory, so he doesn't really have a lot of action on him right now. We'll have to see how they transition this one, because they're not exactly farming or as at many items as they would want to be right now.
No, and with the Jaximus building towards Athene's and Holy Grail, he's trying to spam out that mid lane and keep on pushing down against Kassadin, who doesn't have the best wave clear, but if you look at it right now, Kassadin has been CSing really well, but up top, Taunt connects, Cleanse comes out, it's the acceleration gate, flash away from the knockup. Cataclysm is coming up in a few seconds. I don't know if they're going to be able to chase this one down, though, as One by Brad may be able to cut him off. You see him leaping in from the skies, gets the slow, but it's not enough to turn it around, as Rux will be able to get out of there, thanks to the help of One Bad Brad and his Cleanse.
Well, there's the cleanse coming in, and we did have Dominate trying to chase after, but no Cataclysm available means no kill on Rux. So they are going to actually continue on to One Bad Brad here.
And they're going to take his Blood Will passive down, so that's kind of worth the Ignite that just came out of Zekent there. So that's going to be a big cooldown down for him for the next 5 minutes. While up top, we do have that Zyra Jarvan pushing up that tier 1 turret. While bot lane, we do have Fabi and Satsalo trying to 2v1 Cop and force him out of the lane.
Well, Curse Gaming here, they're starting to take even more advantages because Cop, yeah, he's down on the bottom, but he has a decent advantage with that tower and a BF sword compared to a Phage. He can kind of keep himself alive for now. But on the top side, they used Ignite and they get 2 summoners and the passive from Aatrox out. So very good job of just being able to get advantages across the map. Now we have Quas rotating around, and this top tower very low for Curse Academy might go down when Caitlyn comes up.
There's a teleport coming in from the side there. One My Bread is not long for this world as Voyboy picks up the kill on Cassidy. Rux is going to get silenced out. Auto attacks coming through. Voyboy tanking turret. Taunt. Flash comes out. And Voyboy will be able to get away with his life, but Rux and One My Bread not going to have the best time there and will be taken out on a 4v2 dive that come out ahead for Curse Gaming, as well as another turret of the game.
Well, Brad didn't have his Bloodwell passive there. Sticks around trying to defend the tower. It's just not going to happen. They wanted giving up some kills for that one on top of it. Warboy's teleport coming in. Well, Cassidy has that 1 kill now, and he's got himself that Archangel staff. So he might be a little bit of a problem now, even if they have the vision on the side of Curse Academy.
Yeah, and they do lose a tier 1 turret. Fabi picks that one up, and Blue Buff will go over to Jackson, so they steal it away from Voyboy. I thought he was going to go to lane right there. I was like, Voyboy's right there. Please don't pounce over there. But we'll take the safe way to the river and head back to lane. Pink's coming out as a 5-man mid is in order for Curse Gaming, and Voyboy goes in with no fear on Jackson, just blowing everything he can on him. Gets the silence and the slow. And now with an Archangel staff, he's building through with that Saros Embrace, and gonna be looking to have that one fairly soon. While Snipe comes out of the Jax, the east of the face, heals up, Flash Talk comes in for Quas, they're diving! Voyboy picks up 1 kill, One My Bread will fall down to Quas here. Tidal Wave comes out to knock him up, but it's not enough as Rux is trying to get some kind of consolation here. Ignite comes in from Satsalo, but it's not enough, and that tier 1 mid will fall as the 5-man push does continue. The Flash Root coming in, Satsalo gets rooted up there, knock him, Silence, Zyra gets the kill. And that is going to be the last outer turret down for Curse Gaming, as Curse Academy now is on their back foot defending everything they can.
Well, we said Curse Academy has a very pokey kind of composition, and normally around the 18 to 20 minute mark is when you see poke comp sieging down on towers. Curse Gaming, though, the main Curse roster, they have a composition with Caitlyn, which is known for taking fast towers and rotating to other lanes. They know that the enemy composition is very, well, squishy, as we see Rux here going down as well. So they're not able to defend towers as well as they are to siege and disengage. So if they jump on them before they hit their power spike, Curse Academy just has no response right now.
Yeah, it's very, very rough to deal with this one, especially when Casson is currently 2-0 on 5 with assist gold. That assist gold adding up quite heavily, as well as the 2 kills, and stacking that Archangel staff, which is currently at, let's see here, 404 of 750, so going to have that one in a couple minutes as he keeps spamming the abilities out. The side of Curse Academy, though, they can't let themselves keep getting repeatedly dived. That Shen, the Sunfire cape, building towards a Spirit Visage now, is going to be huge and so hard to deal with. The Oracles from Zekent, though, coming up. Plants slowing, getting a lot of damage, and the support battle coming through as it ends right there, as Zekent does have control of the brushes.
Yeah, now it's up to Curse Academy to not only try to get themselves some itemization, but keep themselves out of the dark. We saw in the last game how important vision control was for infinite odds and how it just wrecked Velocity, just running into picks and everything. Having a very mobile Cassidy and even Jarvan who can just kind of catch somebody out of position with a quick flag and drag, it's going to be extremely detrimental, as now these tier 2 towers are the next target for Curse Gaming's eyes.
Yep, as they do rotate around, Zekent with the Oracles controlling the jungle still. That red side is completely warded up, and Satsalo has not had the best of time warding. He is getting outwarded pretty hard here. Brux is going to go in and possibly look to hold the tier 2. They ping on, they're going to drop another ward. The Draven ward coming out, looks fabulous. I love the new ward skins.
The ward skins are definitely really awesome. I'm partial to the Lux ones because they put down a sound that sounds like Lux is using an ability and people run away.
But speaking of run away, Fabi's going to have to try to do that one with the Valkyrie. The Cataclysm comes out, he flashes away, dodges the root, the slow plan connects though. He's going to get hit by the up root, and Ignite comes through. Is that going to be enough? The Stranglethorn comes out, and Fabi going to die with the Ignite. While a bubble gets onto 2 members, the double bubble comes through, Tidal Wave comes out, only hitting Quas there. One My Bread with the Massacre activated, red buff applied, and trying to catch up to Quas here, does get the slow out. He gets the Tycaller's Blessing, gets the knockup, and Quas taking all the effort of Curse Academy to take him out, as that is going to be Curse Academy's first kill, while Voidboy is just split pushing up top as a content little Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassidy and split push, Expectate would be proud about that one, but Curse Gaming maybe going a little bit too deep to get that kill with not enough damage, but Caitlyn on the backside trying to snipe out and make sure Curse Academy can't go for this dragon. They have a Nidalee and they have a Nami though, so they're going to try to go for it, but Curse Gaming, they're looking to contest.
Yeah, the poke coming out, they force the flash from Tatsalo though. And now everybody getting dangerously low. Cop with the red buff could just lay into him. He hits the tilt over Peacemaker. Tatselo taking a lot of damage from that dot from the dragon, as he will be able to run. Cop looking at a flash over the wall though. A little late teleport coming in from Voyboy. Eats a chunk of damage from Fabian. Gets blown up on the shock blast. The turnaround coming in before Shen could even ulti, as Cop is gonna get the Shen ultimate instead. And teleport gone wrong.
Yeah, Voyboy didn't get himself out of lane, so he face tanks half health burst coming out from Trinity Force Corki, and then eats a shock blast from Jace to just melt the rest of his health. So Curse Gaming, like we said, a little too deep on the tower dive, maybe sticking around a little bit too long, and take a lot of pain for it in response.
Slow connects, the knockup does not connect though from one Brad Fred. And we will see Curse Academy hold here as they now have 2 kills on the board. They don't have any. They have the bot tier 1 and the mid tier 1, and maybe you could look to push the tier 1 up top. But the group coming in from Curse Gaming is kind of doing pretty well for them.
Well, Curse Gaming, they're going for that tower pushing Caitlyn build with a Bloodthirster on Cop, and he's going to be going for a Last Wisp with the pickaxe that he's just acquired. However, there's no kills on him. He only has assists and global gold in his favor. The kills have been onto Dominate and actually even onto Zyra here, so they don't necessarily have the kills on Cop where they want them to be, where they were trying to get them to be when they dove that tower initially against Corki. On the flip side, Curse Academy, they don't necessarily have a lot of kills to begin with, but at least they've gone both of them onto Rux. So as we approach that 18 to 20 minute mark, are they going to be able to respond by taking down that last outer tower in the top, or poking back onto Curse Gaming? That's what we're going to have to find out.
And speaking of poking on, it's just going to be a full initiation with Zekan picking up the kill on Satsalo thanks to the snipe, as well as the Rift Walk damage coming in from Voyboy with that silence and just completely blowing up that poor support. That feel when your support just gets one-shot by everybody. But we know it all too well. Me and Tom both support mains, and the wards coming out like crazy from Zekan. They all just faded in the jungle there. He had about 7, while one bad Brand getting caught out by our root, taking a ton of damage from the poke from the plants. While Quas coming in the back, the Flag Dragon to be the global pass to pop. Quas gonna look to come in. Stranglethorn is hitting 2 members there, gonna knock off Fabi as well. Silence over the wall from Voyboy, chunking out Jax just a little bit. Sphere comes out, does connect with Dominate, but he takes no damage from that. While this tier 1, tier 2 is gonna get dope. Flash taunt coming in on Jax, is just getting destroyed by Cop. While Voyboy takes out Fabi in the backline. They can't even pick up Voyboy. The tidal wave comes out, goes to the wall. The bubble connects, and Quas gets taken out by Rux though. But Cop picking up that kill, gonna clean it up, and they're gonna lose a tier 2 in the mid lane unless they don't have enough tankiness to take it down. They're waiting for the wave to come in. The plant takes 1 turret shot. Zekan eats 1 as well, but that turret will fall to Cop.
And this is the power of Curse's lineup against what Curse Academy's champion selection wants to do. We said they have very pokey champions, and if they get jumped on, they can run away, but they can't really turn and fight. The one thing Curse Academy doesn't want to have happen is being caught out of position. They need all 5 members strong to make a push in a lane. Tatselo gets caught. That channels into one bad Brad getting bursted down. And then the dive in a 5v3 situation, there's just no way they can hold up against the sheer power that Curse is jumping on them with unless they're all together. They need to cut the mistakes. They need to make sure that they don't continuously get caught out, and Tatselo doesn't get blown up in the front line like that. They need to avoid those Zyra roots, because right now Zekan is actually a big thorn in their side.
Yeah, a very, very big thorn in their side. That plant coming in like a rose brush, but now he has the Oracle still, he has all the wards, and once again we see a support when he's ahead, just foregoing any other items besides Sight Stun and Mobility Boost, and just spamming wards like crazy. There's so many green wards in his inventory, as well as so many pink wards, and just spamming oracles, just like Tatselo, who's behind, and doing what he can with that Philo Stone to make up for the gold differential. Either way though, both playing it phenomenally and just keeping everything covered.
Yeah, and we'll have to see here. Now that Curse Academy has their roster of 5 in the mid lane, we'll have to see if they can make something happen with it while Shen is away.
Rux actually did eat the snipe to the face. The bubble doesn't connect with anybody. Voyboy gonna look to Riftwalk in with Quas coming in from the back. Cop picks up the kill on to Aatrox there, and the triple taunt coming in from Quas out of the side as the Stranglethorn with the double buffed up Cop gonna help pick off that Nami. A triple kill for Cop. That is gonna be an ace at 21 minutes for the side of Curse Gaming, as now they're gonna look to push down this inhibitor turret.
Well, Curse definitely looking like they've shook off some of the jitters with Quas being addition to the roster, and they're just decimating what Curse Academy wants to do. We said the poke composition that they have excels around like the 18 to 20 minute mark, and at 21 minutes, Quas tanks the tower for the team there. But at the 21 minute mark, they get completely aced in a 5-for-1 situation. So things definitely not looking right for the side of Curse Academy, and they can't siege towers, and they have to defend against now super minions pushing down the mid lane.
Yep, and now Baron could be the next point for Zken to go ward and take control of on his side of the jungle there. And we have all of Curse Academy spawning up and running up right now. Maybe they're gonna look to rush Baron. Their team is not in any point to do that though. We do have Zken dropping those fabulous Draven wards. I can't get over how his beard and his mustache just flows in the wind with his hair.
It's definitely a quirky thing to do.
Definitely. But now, Jacksmith and Satsalo gonna run over to that Baron side. They drop up one ward. But either way, it is fully controlled from Curse Gaming. Curse Academy, though, looking to try to push out mid, possibly. I don't know what the game plan here for Curse Academy is going to be.
Well, they can't really siege right now. What they need to have happen is they can defend up this mid lane, make sure they don't lose too much while Curse Gaming basically has control of that mid lane map pressure, has control of what could be jungle pressure if they wind up getting wards down in that area. So Tatsalo, he's already putting down pink wards in the area to try to make sure that Curse Gaming doesn't establish absolute dominance of the jungle, and they just kind of have to wait for that inhibitor to respond. It's up to Curse to jump on Curse Academy. They're set to sit there and farm up, much like Velocity was last game. So they are just kind of playing the waiting game at this point. Curse Gaming, it's up to them to make something happen. With split pushing Voyboy, or split pushing Quas even, that could definitely happen soon.
Yeah, and now Dragon is going to go in favor of Curse Gaming here. And the dive from Curse Gaming is just too hard to deal with. This poke comp didn't even get where it needed to get to. That last Whisper with the Brutalizer and Manamune almost stacked up to a mere amount here. Let me check up real quick. 568 of 750, so it's getting close. That's not going to be the spike in damage they need, though, because Quas and Dominate are just too huge of a front line.
And the thing is, too, there's not a lot of damage on Curse Academy's side. Blast Whisper and the Monomune stacking up to Mirror Mana for Rux, that's a lot of their damage there. If you look at Corki, he has Trinity Force, but then he's picked up a Negatron Cloak and a Pickaxe because he's afraid of all the damage that Castellan's going to be putting down upon him. Even Nidalee, she has an Athene's Unholy Grail, doesn't even have the Archangel Staff, and the Tier of the Goddess only at 400 right now. So Curse Academy, they're lacking in damage, they're lacking in kills, and they're lacking in pressure right now. So they're going to wind up giving away this Baron for free to Curse Gaming because there's no way they can go and contest it.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a free Baron for Curse Gaming, as now they're going to look to try to close out another inhibitor possibly, as goes over, the Smite comes out from Dominate, he gets that one uncontested, and now a Baroned up Curse are going to look to push up top.
Well, now they have themselves all grouped up right here, except for Cassidy, but he has the teleport available. Even Shen is around, and he still has Stand United, so if he moved off to his side lane to push, that would be fine too. All they have to do is just wait for these lanes to continuously push towards the side of Curse Academy. They have the poke, like we see Corki spamming the rocket missiles right here to shoot out and just make sure that they clear the waves as quickly as possible, but they could just die.
Yeah, Jacksmith solo getting chunked down there. Satsalo getting chunked down as well. Voidbite from the back comes in with the teleport and the flash, as well as the Riftwalk pops the shield from the Saros Embrace. While the Dominate is going to get saved by the ultimate from Quas, who's going to look to zone away that Aatrox. Zeke ain't going to pick up a kill on Fabi on a rampage on that support. 4 and 15 right now, keeping it spotless. While Rux is the sole survivor here, this is going to be game, I think, for Curse Gaming over Curse Academy.
Yeah, Rux is the only one left alive, and even though he has 2 summoners on his side, I don't know if Jason's going to be able to beat out 5 members strong of Curse Gaming, as they take down the Nexus Turret. Don't even go for a second inhibitor, just go for the game, and Curse going to be picking up a much-needed victory here in the NACL.
Yeah, over their brother team, or sister team, whichever you want to call it, either way. GG's both. Cousin team, yeah. Maybe second cousin twice removed or something like that. But either way, Curse Gaming, take the win.
Yeah, so Curse definitely looking strong in that, showing 22 kills compared to 4. They had about a 15,000 gold lead by the end of that game, and they just showed that they know how to play the picks and bans phase. This is something that in the earlier matches in the NACL, people said was a little bit of a weak spot for them, was they'd be giving away champions to enemy teams that were kind of their signature champions. Whereas in this case, there's a poke composition coming out from the side of Curse Academy. They identify it. They go with a Jarvan Shen combination. They go with Voyboy on someone like Cassidy who can clean up the fights after the initiation comes down. And then Cop to kind of counteract what the poke composition wants to do. Like you said, the mid-game point is where the poke comp excels in sieging down towers. Caitlyn, when she gets that first tower in the bottom lane, like Curse Gaming did in this game, she's able to rotate around and take it before the poke comp has their power spike.
Yeah, and with that, Curse Gaming secure the win and secure themselves a very well-deserved win. But with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and be back with game number 3 of tonight, where it's going to be Cognitive taking on Napkins in Disguise. So sit back and stay tuned.